Okay, so we really are getting pretty close. What we're going to do now, though, is fix up our restart part. So we need to go to the game.lua file, and there's a few things in here we need to do. So in enter scene, where we've created all these event listeners, we need to, in the exit scene, remove them all. So we've got a fair few of them. So let's just do them one by one. Okay, so let's start with touch screen. So I'm just going to copy it, and then come down here into the exit scene function and paste that. And all we need to do is say remove rather than add event listener, and we don't need to touch anything else there. So what we can also do is, well, we need to do it for the 4 city graphics and the 3 mine graphics. So here we go. Runtime, we want to remove event listener, the end frame for city 1. Okay, so I'm going to now copy that line and go that one. Okay, let's do the cities 2, 3, 4. Oops, 4. Okay, I'm going to grab those 3. Oh, not do that. Copy it and paste. And then say, hang on, change that to 4. This can be mine 1, mine 2, mine 3, and then we've just got our collision one. So copy that line, paste it, and change that to remove. Okay, so that's that done. The other thing I'm going to do is I think this is still going to have issues. Yeah. So let's try and do a purge scene here. So basically, when we leave game.lua, we're going to go to the restart screen here, which just shows the all it does is show that restart graphic. The city graphic has a touch event, so that if you touch the background graphic anywhere, it goes back to the game.lua file. Okay, so that's all fairly straightforward. What we want to do, though, is in the enter scene, when we first get here, as well as adding this event listener, we want to purge the scene. So, which means basically get rid of all the graphics and stuff going on from the last scene, which is the actual game scene. So we want to get rid of all that. So we're going to say purge scene game, because that was the last Lua file we had. And let's see if that gets us anywhere further. So, hang on, come on, need to collide. Okay, so we're getting there, we come back, and that's pretty good. We're back in the game, basically. So, alright, we may need to do a bit more purge scene later on, but we'll leave it for now. Okay, great. So if we go right from the start, we go to start, got our movement, and I mean, in some ways this is pretty close to done. We just need a few little bits now. Starting with the floor and the ceiling. So at the moment, you can see this, I can go down off the screen, and then if I press, I'll appear back up, and the same, I'll go up, and then I'll drop back down eventually. So we want to make it if you hit the top or the bottom, you're out. So that's easy. All we need to do is go back to the game file. We're going to add some graphics for that, believe it or not, even though we're not going to see them. So in the folder with the graphics and everything, we've got this. I've got this invisible tile graphic, which is, it's just a well, it's the length of the screen. It's not very high. It's only about 20 pixels high, but it goes the whole length. So we're going to have this invisible bar sitting here, basically, and another one down the bottom. And that's going to have a collision event on it as well. So let's just include the those graphics, which again, we're not going to see them. They're going to be there, but we just won't see them. So let's just go to our create scene, and then before, well, I'm just going to copy this thing, and then above here, I'm going to paste it twice, because we need a floor and a ceiling. So this one I'm going to call ceiling, which may end up being a keyword. No, seems okay. Okay, so ceiling, and then it's going to load an invisible tile. When you do this, you might want to actually color it, because it's a bit hard working with invisible graphics, as you can imagine. We'll get by. Okay, doesn't need a speed because it's not going to move. Just sits there. Okay. Alright. What we do need to do, it needs to be a physics body, so because it's going to have collisions. So I'm going to grab this, come up, and go back to where we added the ceiling. Oh, come on. Okay. We want to add ceiling, not jet. It's going to be static because it doesn't move. And we don't want to give it a radius in this case because, well, a radius just doesn't apply to a long rectangle object, so we just get rid of that completely. So let me, hang on, go back so you can actually see it. So I just took it out, so now it's just density bounce fiction there. There's no radius on it. Okay, that's that done, and we need to change these values a bit. I'm going to try set it above the screen, -35. Okay, so let's just see what we get. Alright, so it hit the top of the screen and it collided and I went to restart. Let's just test it again. Hang on. Okay. Just duck under here. Alright. Coming up. And yeah, it's hitting it and restarting it. You can't see the explosion, so it's not quite as effective, but it's working. Okay, copy all of that, and you need to make the floor. Now, if you actually go and call it floor, I think last time I tried it, I was running into this error where like floor is like a keyword in the math class or thing. So I'm just going to call it the floor for the variable name, just to be sure. You may not have to do that. Use the same graphic. And copy that. Paste. Okay, so it's basically the same, except its y value is not that. Let's just try one of, well, we'll set it at 320, right down the bottom there. Okay, let's try this. So, yeah, well, it hit the bottom. I don't know if we quite want it that. Let's move that down a bit, it's a bit high. Try 340. That's better. Cool, okay. So that's that bit working. What we can do is, I think that's enough for this one. In the next video we'll do the animation, and then we're pretty much done. Okay.